The smaller ones had the bigger numbers. It's usually, not usually, it's always, the bigger the number, the smaller the cars. Howdy friends, welcome back to the Eclectic Sam YouTube channel. Before we get started, you see that subscribe button down there? If you're not already, go ahead and hit that and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you a thing. It'll give you the ability to see our future videos. Plus, it helps me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Today is Thursday, October 8th. And we've got one sale for yesterday. Let me show you what it is. Okay, the one item we sold is up here in the little drawers that we have. And it is a ticket from Fillmore West. And it's sold for... Get you in that picture a little bit better. It sold for $19.99 plus shipping. That particular ticket was a reproduction of Fillmore. Fillmore was a place where they did a lot of concerts and stuff like that back in the 60s. It was kind of a Woodstock that went on all the time. With different bands and so forth. But that being a reproduction, it wasn't worth as much as a brand new one. But that's a good example of something that people don't realize is old ticket stubs and tickets. Very lucrative business. Even companies like Beckett and PSA, the ones that do authentication and grading for baseball cards and comics and autographs, they do authentication and grading for ticket stubs. So if you're out there, looking at, paper stuff in an estate or at an auction or so forth, look for old ticket stubs for baseball games, concerts, football games, so forth. The older, the better usually, or, for like a key event, something like the World Series or, something like that. It's very good business to look into. I've got a couple of tickets that are graded, that I'm going to get graded, that have autographs on them. I'll probably keep a couple of them for myself. I like to keep some, unique things. But also the James Blatchfield art on that ticket is another real popular collectible of psychedelic art from the 60s and early 70s. Blatchfield did a lot of concert posters and stuff like that. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. I wish I had some of the original posters. But do some research on that, because I think a lot of you would enjoy seeing some of his artwork. It's Friday, October 9th. Let's see what we sold for yesterday. I sold this lot of 4 Cool Toys Racing Pack Hot Wheels sets. They sold for $35 plus shipping, and they're going to Belgium. Those came from that big lot of diecast cars that I got from a local auction. Somebody was selling their whole collection, so I bought a good many of them. Paid $3 a piece for those because they were all like items. I sold them in a lot. Hot Wheels is a neat genre because you can delve into just selling Hot Wheels and make a killing. They can range from, a few dollars up to thousands of dollars. There's different sets, different cars, different years and so forth. I used to actually just sell Hot Wheels and did very well with them. But like I've always said, diecast cars in general are a very popular uh, seller for me. But let me delve a little bit more into the diecast cars and tell you a little bit more about them. I had one of the followers here on the channel actually asked me to talk a little bit more about them. One of the most important things to know about when you're selling diecasts are the sizes. There are multiple different sizes, but the four most common sizes are these right here that I'm showing you. A couple of these are from my personal collection and one's from my eBay store. Let's start out with the smallest one. That is the 1/64th scale, most commonly known as the Hot Wheels. You know, Hot Wheels are real small. Those are 1/64 scale. But there are other companies that make 1/64 scale. Those are usually going to be your least detail. Some companies do have some pretty good detail into those. The next one is your 1/43rd scale. This is a scale that I actually collect the most of. I like them because they're small, so you can fit a lot more on the shelves. But also, you start getting a lot of detail into them. A lot of them come in, a lot of the 1/43rds come in their own little display cases, so the cars don't get dusty as well. Next up, we have the 1/24th scale. 1/24th scale usually is known for NASCAR diecast and stuff like that, but there are some just regular car diecast in 1/24th scale. Usually, 9 times out of 10, 1/24th scales aren't worth as much. It's not that it's not popular. It's hard to explain. I don't even really know why they're not worth as much. But usually it's the cheaper brands or so forth. Now, the granddaddy of collecting diecast usually are the 1/18th scale. They're the ones that usually have the most detail, like opening doors, hoods, and so forth. I love the 1/18th scale. I just don't have the room for them. A lot of people collect them, though. A lot of people make room for them, and I've seen people that have whole rooms in their houses full of 1/18th scale diecast. These can bring big money, some of them, the 1/18th scale. Some of the higher end Ertl brands and so forth. And they're beautiful to look at. Heavy in weight, though, so if you're selling these, the shipping will get expensive on those. Now, if you notice when I was showing those cars, the smaller ones had the bigger numbers. It's usually, not usually, it's always, the bigger the number, the smaller the car. So 1/64th, that means that car is 64 times smaller than the actual real car. Up to 1/18th scale, which is 1/18 times smaller than the actual car. There are a whole lot more different scales, but those four are the most popular scales. But it's always important. I've noticed a lot of sellers, they get the scale wrong on the cars that they're selling. It's important to get the scale in your listing right, because some collectors only collect like 1/43rd scale. So, you know, that's what they're looking for. If somebody says it's 1/43rd and it's a different scale, you're going to have an unhappy customer, of course. But also, in the listings, make sure you have the brand of the maker of the diecast car, and also what the car is and what year the car is. Like the 1/18th scale that I just showed you is a 58 Chevy made by Ertl. And it's out of the American Graffiti series from the movie American Graffiti. So that's all important information to put in the listing. But yeah, like I've been telling y'all, the diecast cars, great money makers. I love to sell them. Of course, I'm a car guy, so I'm kind of a little bit biased, but you won't go wrong in getting into just doing some research on them and getting used to selling the cars. And hopefully you'll make some good money out of it. Here we have this Columbia long sleeve men's shirt. It's sold for $12.99 plus shipping. And I paid $2 for it at a local thrift store. Boy, selling on eBay can actually be just like the stock market. The market trend on those Columbia shirts is down. They've been oversaturated on eBay. I remember when plain shirts like that, you could get $25 for them. And the fishing shirts, you could get a whole lot more for the vented fishing shirts. But there's been a whole lot oversaturated of the shirts, but the demand is still up there. So if you can still get them cheap enough, still go ahead and get that Columbia brand. It's a good brand to buy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've gotten a lot of information that can help you out in the future in selling on eBay. Make sure you keep an eye out for those diecast cars and trucks. They're good sellers. But, you know, if you will, please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not. Hit the like button as well if you like this video. As always, make sure you comment, you know, if anything that you've learned, anything you'd like to learn about that maybe I could put in a future video. And go back and watch some of my older videos if you hadn't. It's a lot of information that I've shared with you in the past. But until next time, love you, friends. Bye.